Air Force, is known as FX, and boasts features never before seen on a fighter jet, thanks to an interesting development story that began as soon as the US banned exports of the beastly Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, even to ally nations. With Japan no longer able to purchase the trailblazing 5th-generation F-22 Raptor thanks to the 1997 Obey Amendment that sought to safeguard the Raptor's technology, Japan's Ministry of Defense spent $23 billion on acquiring 2 squadrons of the F-35 Lightning II, but also realized it was about time they had some fighter technology of their own that's worth safeguarding. And so a domestically developed fighter was chosen as the route to go. An informed, intelligent, and instantaneous fighter that would be a generation ahead of the contemporary 5th-generation fighter and cements Japan's spot as a top world power once again. But being the new kids on the block in terms of developing a fighter more advanced than the 4th generation, Japan started off with a $350 million demonstrator, known as the Mitsubishi X2, to prove early on that the capabilities they wanted for their future fighter were indeed possible, to prevent getting stuck deep into the development of a 6th-generation fighter that would be more of a symbol of weakness than anything. The X2, however, would smash through its tests from its first flight in 2016 to 2018 when the tests were concluded, allowing Japan to obtain new information, develop new technology related to the FX fighter, and begin the FX program itself with the Japanese company Mitsubishi as the lead manufacturer. But they weren't going to do it alone. There's simply too much writing on this to leave it in the hands of a domestic firm that hadn't done anything similar before. And so, Japan sought international collaboration on the FX to help bring every detail they had evaluated during and after the X2 tests to life, from the radome on the aircraft's radar antennas to the thrust vectoring nozzles on its engine. This led to the Japanese government sending out proposals to the US and UK, who both have 6th-generation fighter programs of their own, seeking out their participation in the FX project. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, Northrop Grumman, and the British government all responded to the proposal, only to have all of their response offers rejected and shut down by Japan, as they were considered unappealing enough, even though the UK offered the possibility of collaborating the FX project with their 6th-generation Tempest program, and Lockheed Martin offered an F-22 F-35 hybrid fighter, a fighter which even the United States doesn't have. In Japan's defense, though, you don't make a 6th-generation fighter by combining 2 5th-generation jets. However, collaboration with foreign defense contractors was still very much an option for Japan, but only if the contractors could work towards Japan's 5 key aspects for their future fighter: capability for future air superiority, potential to expand capability by incorporating next-generation technologies, ability to upgrade and modify the platform with relative ease, participation of the Japanese industry, and lastly, affordability. With Japan clear as day on that, Lockheed Martin qualified to provide technical assistance while talks went on with Britain's Rolls-Royce to provide the jet engine as Mitsubishi works on the airframe design and system development, all expected to come at a cost of about 5 trillion yen, or $48 billion. So far, all signs point towards a fighter that will be packed full of the most advanced fighter technologies of 3 of the most powerful nations in the world, as is clearly hinted at in the features of the FX fighter. The FX fighter is designed to be a twin-engine stealth fighter for air superiority, with capabilities and technologies developed in the present for the future, starting with its electric actuators. Electric actuators will be applied to the fighter's control, power, and brake systems that will see it do away with conventional hydraulic systems, for understandable reasons. Electric actuators are, thanks to an electric wiring connection, flexible enough to fit into complex interiors of the fighter, giving developers the freedom to design the jet as is most efficient. The electric actuators also come with the added benefits of making the aircraft more mobile and lightweight. Despite its large airframe, the FX is looking to maintain a lightweight body without hitting the gym. Its approach instead is eliminating the use of fasteners by bonding composite materials together through adhesive molding, and using this across the entire fuselage of the craft. Aluminum alloys and carbon fiber reinforced polymer, or CFRP, are used across the fuselage, being better lightweight options, allowing the fighter to adopt new design methods that can reduce the structural mass of its airframe by 11.6% in 66% less time than conventional methods. To protect these materials from the certain heat from the engine and avionics that would definitely riddle the fighter, a heat shield is placed around the engine to protect the aluminum alloys and CFRP in that area, while the air cycle and liquid cooling systems are assisted by a dedicated heat transfer system installed in the fighter's avionics. The EMP-resistant fiber optic fly-by-wire avionics and self-repairing flight systems that detect and automatically compensate for damage to the aircraft's control surfaces are some of the new technologies tested on the X2 that are likely to reappear in the FX. The fighter would also feature integrated sensors for improved detection against stealth aircraft, including a highly sensitive infrared camera, an active electronically scanned array or AESA radar, and a radio frequency RF self-defense sensor, which, like the AESA radar, utilizes gallium nitride to improve its performance. The result of all of these is a system alerted by body antennas in a timely manner to the threat of an opposition aircraft, air-to-air missile, or surface-to-air missile, and can respond with the appropriate